Welcome back to This Week in Costa Rica. Thanks for joining us again, guys. For those of you who stick around on the podcast, always appreciated. I have here in studio today my very special guest, Miss Holly Lynch, who came in from seedsofhopehome.com. How are you, Holly?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Amazing to see you in person. I think we've been texting, we've been Facebooking, we've been trying to get together, and we finally did.
Finally, that's right.
I appreciate you coming in here today.
Problem.
Why don't we start with you, and let's let the listeners know, who is Holly and where are you from?
Sure. I'm originally from Gainesville, Georgia. Grew up there and then decided to move to the big state of South Carolina and pursue grad school. So finished my master's in business at the Citadel and started working for Target.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, exciting. Were you working like in the head office at Target, or were you working just at a
My
Target?
position was executive team lead.
Okay,
so
that sounds fancy.
It sounds fancy.
Okay. So you had like a bunch of Target minions kind of following you around?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, but why did you get out of that?
So I worked for Target. I absolutely loved it. Was up for some promotions. Things were going great. And life changed after a vacation to Costa Rica.
We hear this story all the time on the radio program. People say, I came down for 1 or 2 weeks and I fell in love with the culture or the country. What was the case for you?
Yeah, I wish I fell in love.
All right.
Unfortunately, that's not quite the story.
Okay.
I was vacationing with a friend. And we were in Manuel Antonio. We were staying in the penthouse. We really just came to get a tan, to be honest with you, having a great time. And we went out to dinner one night and just having a great time. And at the dinner table next to us, there was a little girl who was Costa Rican, 13 or 14 years old. And it was really obvious that she had been sold for sex.
You're kidding.
No.
Okay.
And she was with an American man in his 60s.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so that rocked my world.
Sure.
And so I started doing a little investigating to see, okay, like, why is this happening? What is going on down here? And why in the world do I know about it? And what am I supposed to do about it?
Interesting. Wow. Because, this is such a shocking thing. I have a lot of people that work in this industry. I remember working with a girl here in Costa Rica maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And she was a teacher at the language center that I was managing in San Jose at the time. And she went back to the United States and she started an organization called ID, which is really all about trying to stop human trafficking and sexual exploitation of youth. So it seems like this is this is such a huge problem worldwide. And to me, it's amazing when I have to stop and think for a moment that here in 2014, this is still something that's ongoing and we don't have any way to control it yet. So obviously for you, the same idea, you must have just been stunned that this is something that's happening even here in Costa Rica.
Right. It was totally overwhelming to say, okay, I'm confronted with this. What do I do? And then when I started researching human trafficking, the numbers are totally overwhelming as well. 27 million trapped in trafficking. And who am I? What can I do to make a difference?
Right. So you're sitting here now and you're seeing the situation, you're doing some research and you decide, unlike a lot of people, that you are going to try and do something about it. You are going to take action. What's your next step?
Well, I went home and journaled and prayed and talked and sorted through all of this and thought, okay, what does this look like? I just bought a house, just finished grad school, had a great job. Is it even realistic for me to try to do anything about this? And when I was in Costa Rica, I heard about a lady named Penny Williams who had a similar vision to do something to help these young girls. And so we connected, and she's from California. Okay. So we decided, okay, if we're going to do something, we have to at least meet each other. So we planned a trip to come down to Costa Rica to meet and see what would happen. Mm-hmm.
So you guys got together and did you immediately hit it off? Did you see that you had like similar goals? Or was she open and or does she have like her own idea what she wanted to do? How was this?
Well, at this point, neither of us had any clue other than there's a problem. We both know about it and we both feel called to do something about it.
Right.
So yes, I loved Penny immediately when I met her. She's really energetic, a visionary, just an awesome lady. So we definitely hit it off and started doing a little investigative work as to, okay, what is the solution? Because the problem's absolutely huge. Mm-hmm. So what does that look like? And again, what could we do? And so Penny had visited Costa Rica for about 10 years previously and owned some property in Costa Rica and had done some, humanitarian mission trip type work before. And so she had a lot of really great contacts who really respected her in the community. So she called a meeting with everybody in the community. And at this meeting was, a main pediatrician from the hospital, tourist police, OIHOTA, Child Protective Services. So some big movers and shakers in the community as well. Yep. And her pitch to them was, here's the problem. Should I do something or not? And if I do something, do I have your support? Interesting.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, she definitely, I think, took the right approach to definitely contact all of the government agencies that might be involved, might be either able to help or in some way maybe reveal to her some of the things that they're doing. Because, look, we know here in Costa Rica, as it's a developing nation, that a lot of these organizations, we talk about PANI, OIHOTA, the municipal police forces, etc. These guys are terribly underfunded in many cases. You know, they're doing everything they can just to stay on top of crime instead of, as opposed to going out and being preventative in some of these cases and helping, you know, children who are unfortunately in these sexual exploitation or trafficking situations. So my imagination right now is saying that, hey, these guys are probably happy to help out, but they don't really have any initiatives in place that are very valuable. Am I wrong or am I right?
No, you're right. So our idea is, how can we partner? How can we help? How can we be a part of the solution? And how can we work together, as opposed to coming in, you know, not knowing the language, not knowing the culture, knowing, you know, minimally about what's going on.
Sure.
So that was a big turning point for us when they said, absolutely, we want to partner with you.
That's great, because yeah, you're right. I mean, you don't want to be presumptuous and come down and step on anyone's toes and think that you're going to be able to do it better than anyone else. And we all know that when you come down to a foreign country like this, you know, you can have a lot of cultural friction, especially if you come in, especially as North Americans, I find. You know, we come down and we have all these ideas. We want to volunteer. We want to contribute. But the way that we approach this has to be extremely delicate. Similarly, I mean, if we were in the United States or Canada and a foreign country came in and said, hey, you guys have problems with X, Y, and Z, and we're here to fix it, and here's what we're going to do, we certainly wouldn't respond very positively. So it's nice that you came in with that gentle hand to have those conversations first.
It's been definitely a journey the last 2 years to decide what's relevant and what works, because, you know, sexual exploitation is nothing new. Commercial sexual exploitation is nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
And Costa Rica being a destination for sex vacations is nothing new. So it's been a journey the last 2 years to figure out what works. And finally, over the last 2 years, we have cultivated a program that does work, but it's been quite the process.
Okay, I want to hear about this program and the process getting to that.
Sure.
So why don't we start near the end, if we can, and explain to our listeners a little bit what the program is and what it entails.
Sure. So we have a community center in a poor community where there is a large number of girls who are at extreme risk or who are already in underage prostitution or sexual exploitation.
Okay.
So what the program looks like is it's meeting them where they are when they're ready.
Interesting. Can we let's take a look. What is the age range here of girls that we're talking about? So obviously underage, we're talking about under 18, but how young are we seeing girls coming into the center and working with you?
We originally started with girls who are ages 12 to 17. Mm-hmm. Now that we've established ourselves in the community and built the trust, we have girls as young as 9.
Wow. Wow, that's hard to hear. That's incredibly hard to hear. Mm-hmm. So they have an opportunity then to reach out to you how?
So it's become the cool thing in the community for the young girls to come to our classes, and all the classes are free.
Okay.
So they started bringing their sisters, their friends, their cousins, and they come to the classes.
Interesting. Okay, so it's really just word of mouth.
Right.
You guys, it's the sort of, you know, if you build it, they will come. And if you do something well, then the word's going to spread and people will participate in it. So how many kids are you seeing coming in and out of your center now?
Right now we have about 55 girls enrolled in the program.
Wow, 55.
Mm-hmm. And we've worked with about 80 over the last year and a half.
That's phenomenal. I mean, that's 80 lives that you're transforming.
It's been amazing. And really the success is to love them and do life with them.
Interesting. Okay, so let's go over some of the things that the kids are doing then when they're coming in, because you mentioned you have programs, and what exactly are they participating in?
Sure. Well, we try to take a holistic approach in that to be full circle and to teach them a new vocation. Because what's happening with these girls is it's generational, in that their mothers were prostitutes, their grandmothers were prostitutes, and they don't know anything else.
Okay.
Other than they know deep inside of them that they don't want to do this. Mm-hmm. So what's happening is their mothers reach the age of 30 or 35, and you know they've done a lot of drugs, they've been in a lot of prostitution, and they can't make money anymore because they have 3 or 4 mouths to feed.
Right. Okay.
So it falls on the oldest girl's shoulders. It's her job to go out and bring money into the house, or her younger brothers and sisters go hungry.
Wow. And again, this sounds to me like really, in so many of these difficult situations, that the answer and the solution is always education. getting people skills, getting people knowledgeable, getting people aware of a greater opportunity out there than what they're seeing, because, you know, that sort of fishbowl effect that happens, you know, you can't see beyond what your immediate opportunities are for earning, and they get thrown into this horrible life. So it sounds to me like what you're trying to do is you're trying to elevate them by educating them.
Right. So we look at every situation and we say, okay, is this relief, rehabilitation, or development?
Okay.
What stage is this girl in? If this girl is responsible for bringing in all the, you know, for putting beans and rice on the table, how can we even get her back in high school? Because she can't even think. She's starving. So that's a case where it's relief. So immediately we put her into what we call our jewelry program.
Okay.
The girls make jewelry. We sell that jewelry online, and we use that funding to go back to buy the food for the families, and then pay the electricity for the houses. So we relieve that burden that's on that little girl's shoulders so that she can learn.
Very interesting, because look, I was on the website again the other day, and first of all, the jewelry's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. So you're selling it online, and I've been speaking to some people around here. You're also selling it here in some of the local community so that we can participate and we can help. Yes? Yes,
we do. And we're so proud of the girls. They're making really great quality things.
Okay, I'm going to get you to hang on for 1 second. We got to take a little commercial break. We're speaking with Holly Lynch from SeedsOfHopeHome.com. Stick around, guys. This is This Week in Costa Rica on the Overseas Radio Network.